Hello and welcome to Career Experience TV. My name is Ados Michael. Today we are going to be starting a whole new project that I'm bringing in on this very particular segment, Project Management and Business Analysis Masterclass. We're going to be having, mini exercises to help us understand what we're doing. It's going to be from an idea to execution, the core principles to real-world application. What I mean is, from the exercise we're going to be doing, we're going to be using real-world scenarios, something that you need to know so that we can really get this, very clear. Let's look at the course overview. So we're going to be talking about the foundation, under where we talk about the project, what is it, the role of business analysis, the role of project manager, the dynamics do. We're talking about also business analysis toolkits. We're going to be talking about project management playbook. Then we're going to be bringing it all together. Like I said, it's going to be a very unique journey that you're going to be taking with me. Then we're going to be also having mini reviews, in case you are actually trying to get a practical hands-on one-on-one or group project management and business analysis masterclass for 5 months, 3 months. We have that platform. If you are interested, just make sure you reach out to me, whether you're in Africa completely or you're this side of the abroad, US, UK, Canada, anywhere you are in the world. This training is an amazing one. This is just a mini course, but I'm saying if you want to have a 5 months, you're going to be in a group section on Zoom for that very particular 5 months or so. It's going to be interactive. It's going to be, something that is amazing. If you really want to go into this to get a job and start working, this is just for people who are just, still thinking, can I go into project management? We're just trying to see how we can entice you with everything that will make you say, wow, this is what project management and business analysis is. I think I want to go for it. So if you want to go for it, then just request and I'll make sure you have access to getting to that very particular masterclass. All right. So now we are starting with the section 1, which is the foundation. Now the foundation is very important. You need to get ready to know what we have in this very section. So let's start with, what is a project? Now, at its heart, a project is a temporary journey with a specific destination. It is different from the normal day-to-day business, and generally speaking, a project is a temporary organization created to deliver one or more business products according to an agreed business case. Now, project management, which for short is called PM, and business analysis, which for short is called BA, are two critical disciplines that turn ideas into reality. Think of it like building a house. The business analysis is the architect who works with the family to figure out exactly what they need and how many bedrooms, the style of the kitchen, the size of the garden, and so forth. The project manager is the general contractor who takes those blueprints and manages the crew, the schedules, the budget to build the house. So if you look at the job of the PM and look at the job of the BA, you can see that they marry each other very well, right? So let's discuss the key characteristics to remind us about this very particular project. Okay, so we have change. Project creates something new or alter something that already exists. Unique, even if the projects are similar, no two are ever the same. Temporal, they have a definite start and a definite end. Or certainty, because they are unique, they are always unknown. The easiest way to grasp this is to contrast a project with an operation. Operation are the day-to-day repetitive activities of a business. Now let me share this analogy. Let's go back to building a house. The project is designing and constructing the house. It is one-time effort with a clear goal, a finished house. The operations are everything that comes after: paying the monthly mortgage, mowing the lawn every week, cleaning the windows. Those are ongoing activities, which is a repetitive task to maintain the house. So you can see that when we talk about project and talk about operations, they look alike, but of course they have different job to do. So get to see that further break it down and use the Netflix company as an example. What would you consider a project they might undertake versus one of their core operations? So what I want to do here is to give you an overview of what Netflix does in terms of operations and in terms of of project. I want you to look at it and tell me from the understanding of what you know about operation and about project, this particular section talks about it. So I have 4 examples here. So paying the monthly salary for all 500 employees under Netflix. Is that going to be a project or is that going to be an operation? Developing and launching a brand new feature that allow users to co-watch movies with friends. Is that going to be a project or an operation? Responding to customer support tickets every day. Is that going to be a project or is that going to be an operation? Organizing one-off corporate retreat for the entire company. Is that going to be a project or is that going to be an operation? So let me give you a minute to think and type this on the comment section. Let me see if you already grasp the difference between project and operation. And that's why I gave you the analogy with the house building. And I gave you that to understand if the house needed to have that go on, it's actually falls on that project. And after the house is built and they need to go to be activities, repetitive tasks in the house, paying the mortgage, mowing the house, doing so many other things to make sure everything is looking smoothly. We talk about that as an operation. And that is why I said on this aspect, what do you think is the number 1, the number 2, the number 3, or the number 4 that falls under operations or projects? So I'm sure by now you've typed your answer on the comment section. So one of my students said that since the core operation is making sure millions of people can stream content smoothly 24/7, it is a massive ongoing repetitive task. That's the engine that keeps the business running. What do you think? For the project side, let's think about the content itself. Remember, our definition falls under that a project is a temporary effort to create something new or unique. So let me provide you with the little hint so that maybe you can actually understand. Does Netflix only show movies and series that were made by other film studios, or do they also create their own? Now, the answer is they do create their movies, which for me can only happen as a project. Creating a new original shows like Bridge Dawn is a perfect example of a project for Netflix. Think about it. It has a specific goal, a finished season, a temporal team brought together just for that production. A defined budget was put in place and a clear start and also a clear end of that project. Once the season is launched, that particular project is complete. The project is creating the show. The operation is keeping the Netflix service running 24/7 so we can all watch it. So if your answer falls under the operations aspect and the project aspect, check it to see if you actually got it right. So if you can get this concept down perfectly well, you will understand how easy it is to see through a project and also its operations. So let's talk about this exercise. Okay, paying monthly salary, which we talk about now, operation, right? So it's going to be routine, repetitive, essential for day-to-day activities, paying monthly salary. Developing co-watch future, it's going to be project, right? So check, see if you get it. Responding to support tickets falls under operation, routine, repetitive, essential for day-to-day activities. Organizing corporate retreat, project, temporary effort with specific unique goals. So if you can understand that, so you can see where operations falls and you can see where the project falls. So you need to actually see how easy it is to understand where the project comes in and where the operations comes in. So if you get it correctly, that's great, because it is clear you have a solid grips of this foundation concept, which is the most important building block for everything else we will discuss. Now that we know what a project is, we can start looking at the key people who make them happen. Lesson 2. Let's talk about the role of a business analyst. If a project is a journey, the business analyst, which is BA for short, is the person who draws them. They don't just ask, where do you want to go? They ask why you want to go there, what you need to pack, what sites you must see, and what problem you are trying to solve by taking that trip. Simply put, the business analysis is the problem detective of a project, the practice of enabling changes in an organization context by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. Think of them as a translator. They are the bridge between the business world, like the marketing or sales department, and the technical world, the software developers. The business side knows the problem they have. The technical side knows how to build the solution, but they often speak different language. The BA makes sure everyone understands each other so that the final product solves the original problem. Now, for simple explanation, if you have the BA and have every other aspect, which is the PM, and there's a stakeholder, which is the project owner or the product owner, you have to speak with the BA. The BA speak with the PA. The PA gets everything done. And if there's anything in between, the PA goes back to BA goes back to stakeholders. It's simple as that. So if you understand that, well, that's sweet. I'm going to share two scenarios. Now, let's use house building analogy. Imagine the family, which is the stakeholder, talks directly to the construction crew, the developer, without an architect, which is the business analyst. The family just say, we want a big, beautiful kitchen. What are some potential problems or misunderstanding that could easily happen in that scenario? Remember, we talked that the BA are the translator that actually listens to what the stakeholders and goes to the PM and actually have this very discussion. So it's the middleman. Now you are taking the middleman out and you just went straight to the PM. And now you just said, what are some potential problems or misunderstanding that could actually easily happen in that scenario? Let me see what you can actually type on the comment section about that. Now I can move to scenario 2, library website scenario. Imagine you are a business analyst hired by your local lab. The library manager tells you, we need a new website to improve our service for members. That's all the information you've been given. What are the first 3 questions you would ask to start understanding the real problem? Now remember, if you don't understand the why, you can never deliver the right what. Your request will help you move from a vague request like improve our services to a clear, actionable goal, which is very important. Let's talk about lesson 3, the role of a project manager. If the business analysis is the architect who designed the perfect house based on the family's need, the project manager, which is for short the PM, is the general contractor who builds it. The architect hands the contractor a detailed set of blueprints, which is the requirement from the stakeholders. And the contractor's job is to bring that vision to life on time and on budget. So while the BA focus on the what, the why, the PM is obsessed with the how and the when. So BA focus on what and why, PM focus on how and when. A project manager is the deliverer. A project manager is the driver of the project. They are responsible for planning the work, which creates a schedule and timeline. Project manager is the driver of the project. They are responsible for planning the work, managing the resources, tracking the progress, and solving the problem. Now, in planning the work, they create a schedule and timeline. In managing the resources, this includes the budget, the team members, and any necessary equipment. When we talk about the tracking progress, we're making sure everything is on schedule within the budget. And when we talk about the solving of the problem, when things go wrong, the PM is the one who figures out the solution. Let's go back to our house building project. The general contractor, which is our PM, is halfway through building when they get a bad news. A special marble countertop the family wanted for the kitchen is stuck on a shipping container and will be delayed by 2 months. What kind of things does the PM have to do and think about to handle this situation? Now, I know that communication is the first step. The PM will have to talk to a lot of people about the delay. Let's dig a bit deeper into the PM's specific role here. While they might inform the BA's job is mostly done for the kitchen. They have already defined what's needed. The delay in the countertop is delivery problem, which is the PM's word. So the PM's responsibility in this scenario is the schedule aspect. How does this 2-month delay affect everything else? Can the painter still work? Does this push back the final move-in date? The PM owns timeline. So he is in charge of timeline, is in charge of everything. So he needs to start talking about, okay, how can this be done? Let's talk about the budget. The PM needs to ask, Can we find a different countertop that's available now? Is it cheaper? Is it more expensive? How does that affect our total budget? Now, we also talk about the stakeholders. The PM has the tough job of going to the family, the stakeholders, to explain the problem, present them with new options. E.g., we can wait for the original countertop, or we can choose this other beautiful one that is available next week, and explain the impact on the cost and the moving date. So if we don't actually get this and we want to wait for 2 months, which means the original plan of moving in will not be possible. If we decide to get it, just next week, yes, it's gonna solve the problem, but the money that is involved is gonna be, more expensive, and we need to add more money. We need to do that. So that discussion. So now you can see that the PM is the one who has to juggle all these spaces: the timeline, the budget, and the people, to keep the project moving forward. So BA versus PM, role difference exercise. Now let us take another exercise. Let's think about our library website project again. For each task below, tell me if it sounds more like a job for the business analysis or for the project manager. Now the first task is interviewing librarians to understand the biggest problem with the current website. Task 2, create a detailed schedule with deadline for the website developers. Task 3, reporting to the library director that the project is running 2 weeks behind schedule and over budget. Writing the specific rules for how the new book search feature must work. Now, this is the answer I have. I don't know what you have. Now, let's look at the business analysis tasks here. Interviewing librarians is a problem detective work. It's about discovering the why and the what. Task 2 is a project manager's work, which is the PM. Creating a detailed schedule is about managing the how and the when. The PM is responsible for the timeline. Task 3 is the project manager's job, which is the PM. Reporting a delay is the PM's job. That's classic progress tracking task. Now, task 4, business analysis role. Writing rules for each search features is 100% a BA task. That's defining a specific requirement. Now, a good rule thumbs up if you actually get this. If the task is about understanding a problem or a need, think of BA. If it is about managing time, budget, or the team, think PM. So if you can see where the roles differ, is the key to understanding them. Now that you've met the architect, the BA, and the general contractor, the PM, let's see how they work together to build the house properly. Bring thoughts to lesson 4, which is the dynamic duo. How PM and BAs work together. A successful project depends on a strong partnership between the business analyst and the project manager. They are a team, each within a critical complementary role. The BA defines the goals, the what, and the PM creates and manages the plan to get there, which is the how. At the beginning of a project, the BA leads. They are busy interviewing stakeholders, defining the requirements, drawing the blueprints. The PM supports them by providing early estimate on how long things might take and how much they might cost. During the project, the PM leads. They manage the daily schedules, the projects, the development team to ensure work gets done. The BA stay closely involved in act as a checkpoint. If the developers have questions about requirements, they ask the BA for clarification. The BA also helps to test the work and it's being done to ensure it matches the blueprint. When changes happen, this is where their partnership is most crucial. If a stakeholder wants to add new feature, they should speak to the BA first. The BA analyzes the new request. What is this change? Then the BA takes that information to the PM and together they figure out the impact. How will this change affect our schedule and budget? Now let's have the discussion. Let's imagine a worst case scenario. The architect, which is the BA, hands the blueprints to the general contractor, which is the PM, and immediately goes on a 6-month vacation with no phone or email. The construction crew starts building but has questions about a measurement in the kitchen. What are some of the potential negative consequences for the project when that communication link is broken? Now, this is what I feel. I feel the most immediate consequences of this BA disappearing is the delay, because the team is blocked, but it can spiral from there. They might guess the measurements and build the wrong thing, which means wasted time and money on rework, or they work on something else which is inefficient. It is perfect illustration of why the BA PM communication link is vital through the project. Now, the section 1 conclusion and mini review. This is an exercise based on the library website changes that we talked about earlier on. The library website project is underway. The senior librarian suddenly has a brilliant new idea to add a live chat feature for instant help. Who should the librarian talk to first, the BA or the PM? And what will that person immediately next step be? Now, the answer I provided here is the librarian has a new requirement, so they got to the BA. The BA then immediately partner with the PM to analyze the impact on the schedule, the budget, and the resources. If you get both right, that's brilliant. That shows that you've grasped what a project is and the crucially complementary role of the BA and the PM. This lesson concludes our first major section, which is the foundation. We've covered what a project is and the two key roles that gets it off the ground. Are you ready for a quick mini review to summarize what we've covered so far? If your answer is yes, then I will share the mini review as a quiz or a poll so you can provide your answer. If you are watching this on the YouTube channel, in the description I will share the link so you can use right there on YouTube, on our YouTube community post. But if you are watching in our in-house community via aurameet.com, then you will see the poll or quiz to attend to. If you are not registered on our Aurameet website, please do so. You can actually visit www.aurameet.com, and I'll also share the link in the description. Please subscribe, like, share this video with as many that will benefit from it to encourage us to actually do more. It is an honor for me to take you on this ride. This is the first part of the video, which is actually what the what do you call it? This is the section here. So what we covered was what is project and what isn't. The role of a business analyst, defining the why and the what. Then the role of a product manager, driving the how and the when. The dynamics do, how the PMs and the BA collaborate for success. That's what we'll cover. So the next video that we're going to be doing, we're going to be going straight to the business analysis toolkits, and I will make sure that the first thing we checked is that very answers to our last scenarios. So I'll make sure you give me that very particular answer. Until I come your way again next time, I will be glad to join me to this very particular journey. Thank you for now.